deferred finding of guilt as you had applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargain agreement, state proceeding on count 1, punishment was to be assessed at a cap of 10 years.
10 years. That's the maximum sentence sitting on the table. But let's rewind. This isn't just about time behind bars. It's about whether Carlos Gallardo gets one final shot at turning his life around, or whether the court slams that door shut for good. Buckle up. This one's going to hit hard.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 4892, State of Texas versus Carlos Gallardo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Your hand, Your Honor.
Defense?
Michael DeLeon for Mr. Gallardo.
And are you Mr. Gallardo?
Yes.
All right, you entered a plea to count 1 of no contest on July 29th. This was set for sentencing today. The court had found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt as you had applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargain agreement, state proceeding on count 1, punishment was to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. The state opposes your application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. They were taken in consideration 2024 CR 3341, 72840, 728-402, and there's to be restitution for drug testing. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state? Defense?
I think they misspelled Mr. Gallardo's name a few times, but otherwise, nothing factual, Judge.
All right. Does anyone have any witnesses? State?
No.
Defense?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right. State, you are opposed. Why are you opposed?
Now here's the heart of the defense. A familiar plea in courtrooms across America. He's not a criminal. He's an addict who never got help. But here's the question we all have to ask. When someone has multiple chances, do we give them one more? Or is enough? Enough.
Just 1 second. Guys, I'm on the record. Okay, sure. All right, you may continue.
Judge, you just had some history. Peter was waived in this case through plea negotiations. So the state believes that a 10-year sentence is a break.
All right, defense.
Judge, Your Honor, Mr. Gallardo does have a criminal history in his past, but the problem with Mr. Gallardo is in the past, he's constantly never gotten drug treatment. He's gone to prison before for similar deals, but the thing is that he, as the PSI states, he does want to have drug treatment. He wants to get help. We can send him to prison today, Judge, and that's just kicking the can down the road. We need to get him, especially since he's motivated to get treatment. We're asking the court to grant him deferred adjudication, put him in any type of drug treatment program that the court feels would assist him in that. And obviously that could be a lockdown facility or whatever the TAP evaluation recommends. But we're asking for that opportunity for him to be able to get drug treatment so this behavior doesn't repeat for the rest of his life. And that's what's going to happen if he doesn't get treatment. If he messes up, and I've told this to my client, Mr. Gallardo, before, if he's granted deferred, if he's put on and he messes up, the court can sentence him to prison for the maximum amount of time. With that big hammer over his head, Your Honor, we're asking for deferred adjudication and allow him to have that opportunity to get drug treatment. And Mr. Gallardo does want to make a brief statement to the court about why he wants to be on probation.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up. State your name for the record, please.
Carlos Gallardo.
All right, defense, do you have any questions for him or he just would like to make a statement?
My one question for you, Mr. Gallardo, is tell the court why you feel like if you're placed on probation, why you could be successful, why you want to be on probation.
I need help.
Tell the court more. What do you need help for?
Drug. I use
when I would use drugs, I used it like as it was.
But
Let's pause here. Alardo's
you were
voice
given
cracks,
probation
not with fear, but with
for
what sounds
possession
like
of
genuine
marijuana,
desperation.
April 3rd,
I just need
2007,
help to
and
continue
you ended
with
up being revoked.
my life. Is this
Now,
the first
I'm
time he said
assuming
it and meant
That
it?
when you're given
Or is it
probation,
just
if you
courtroom
have
theater?
a drug problem,
Another last-minute
alcohol problem,
performance
mental
for
health
mercy.
problem,
Ritalin to cope with basically your life.
You're talking about like self-medicating?
Yes,
Okay. And how long you been doing that?
I started since last year.
Okay. And do you feel like if you got drug treatment that would help?
Yes.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to tell the court before the court decides what your sentence should be?
Yes. I just need help and continue with my life. Try to better myself than what I was doing before.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
State, any questions?
Yes, so you were convicted of assault on a family second here in Bear County, is that correct? You had an assault family violence case
Yes.
where you're convicted. You received actually deferred adjudications of 7 years back in 2017 at first, so you were on probation for that case, is that correct?
Yes.
And actually, before that, you have probation out of Medina County for aggravated assault on a family with a weapon.
Yes.
And you were revoked off of that probation also. You received probation for that and you were revoked off that.
I don't remember. I don't know if that one was for over here or in Medina.
Well, from the PSI, it states that you were convicted. You had probation and you were convicted and sentenced to Texas Department of Corrections for 4 years for that case.
All right.
Okay. And then also the assault, family violence here in Bear County, you were given probation, deferred actually, but then you were revoked very close to that date of the previous one in Medina County and sentenced to 6 years in the Texas Department of Corrections. Is that correct?
I don't remember, that far back about, my past or that stuff, I had forgot about a long time ago, probably.
Thank you. Go for the question.
All right. So, Mr. Gallardo, the court has reviewed the PSI report, and the PSI report shows your criminal history. I'm not even going to consider your juvenile history because sometimes people are young, they do foolish things. But you were given probation for possession of marijuana April 3rd, 2007, and you ended up being revoked. Now, I am assuming that when you're given probation, if you have a drug problem, alcohol problem, mental health problem, they will give you conditions to address that. Then in December 2007, you were given deferred adjudication for assault, bodily injury, married. Then in April, I'm going to discount the April 2016 offenses because they were dismissed because you were convicted of something else. And then there was a resisting arrest, search and transportation charge, February 2024, that was taken in consideration. Then when we get to the felony cases, April 24, 2016, you had an assault family second and you were given deferred adjudication. I'm assuming it's 2016. People know when people need drug treatment, mental health treatment, they offered you that. And what ended up happening is you were revoked on that. So that means that you did not successfully complete it. Then you have this incident offense. This is just in Bear County. Then out of county, in Medina, from 2008, you have another assault, bodily injury family. Then you have an attempted resisting arrest, search or transportation. Then in 2009, you have an aggravated assault, dating family household with weapon. You were given probation on that and you were revoked. So I don't think you're a good candidate for probation. So I'm not going to grant your application. I'm going to find you guilty. Does anyone wish to speak to the cap?
State your questions.
No boom. 10 years. And the judge isn't pulling punches. This isn't just a sentence, it's a warning shot to every repeat offender watching. Probation? Gone? Treatment? Denied? Adardo's rap sheet spoke louder than his words, and the judge heard every echo of his past.
Judge would request something more reasonable, like 5 years.
All right. Court is finding you guilty. The court will give you credit for any time served. I'll request the Therapeutic Community Mental Health Unit for you. Take in consideration 2024 CR 3341, County Court 14, cause number 728401, 728402. There's a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent, restitution of $121 to SAPD for drug testing, and I'm going to assess your punishment at 10 years in the prison. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Gallardo, here's the thing. If you come back in the state of Texas with another criminal charge that is a felony, one or two things are going to end up happening. Either you're going to be tagged as a habitual, which means your minimum sentence will be 25, depending on the alleged offense. If it is a state jail felony, maybe you're looking at 2 to 20 years. It all depends. If you want to spend the rest of your life in prison, you can. Guess what? People talk about, oh, the Bexar County Jail is overcrowded. Oh, the Texas prisons are overcrowded. Guess what? They can always find money to build another jail, and they can always find room to put you in a cell. And then you can file whatever human rights violation you think are being violated. You can file that, but they're not going to let you go because the jail is overcrowded. They're going to find a place for you, even if it's standing or sleeping in the hallway. You understand?
Maybe.
All right. Good luck to you.